It's good to see you, baby. It's been a long, long while. We're both a whole lot older and we've seen a lot of miles. Things are really different now since the good old days. You've been in some trouble since we went our separate ways. Well, I have to say hello now, maybe some other time instead. 'Cause you're wanted by the police. My wife thinks you're dead.
You've been working on that. At the end of yesterday's show, I brought up this song. I couldn't think of a song that was "I Wish You Were Dead." I know there is one, but I don't wish you were dead. You can go back and watch that yesterday. That's old news.
It's old news.
The only song I could have about "You Were Dead" was "My Wife Thinks You're Dead"
by
the great Junior Brown. It's the Krisha and Frank show. You can find us on YouTube. And please do subscribe because you want to be able to see Krisha with the ukulele.
Do you? I mean...
Yes.
It's so funny because...
You think they're tuning in to watch me?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm the straight man.
Not
I'm
always.
the Laurel. You're the Hardy.
Not always.
I'm the Abbott. You're the Costello.
Okay. Ooh, my hands are freezing today. Feel this.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
Well.
They're icicles.
Well, yeah, hold your Bone Zones cup so you can chill your water. If you go to audibletrial.com/Krisha and Frank, get a free 30-day trial of Audible, and while you got that, go ahead and download a premium audiobook, one of the best titles, and keep it forever. And then at the end of the 30 days, sign up, and we get paid.
Yeah. And at the end of 30 days, if you decide you don't like it, you don't have to stay. You still get to keep the book.
Right. So we'd love you to try it out. I think you'll like it, because Krisha has been a member for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I love it.
And you can listen to even the Jefferson Bass books if you wanted.
I actually listened to there's a podcast called The Daily, and they have the Sunday Story. And I listened to, on my run on Sunday, I listened to the Sunday Story, and it was about Gillian Welch and Dave Rawlings. And
I recognize these names, but...
And she's a folk singer, sings like folk Americana music, right. But they're a couple. But it was this guy that interviewed them back in August, September. And it was really beautiful. It was such a beautiful story. And he wrote it, but someone else reads it.
Interesting.
And you can find that on Audible. It's really cool.
Because it's also this premium content. A lot of stuff created especially for that platform. Nice. All right. Well, do
sorry.
help us get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube as well, and all the things. So yeah, we had a little fun. You were getting warmed up this morning with your ukulele.
Yeah. It's such a great, little handy tool because it's easy to play. I would love to learn to play guitar. That's my thing.
I had a ukulele once.
Yeah?
My parents signed me up for guitar lessons. Mm-hmm. And there was some program. I remember it was in White Plains, New York, and we went to the convention center, and they had set up this pipe and drape and all these little rooms. There were different musical lessons going on, and I was supposed to go to this. So I show up at the guitar class with a flippin' ukulele that my parents had bought for me.
This is the cutest thing ever. Yeah?
Yeah.
And did you learn to play guitar on your ukulele?
No, I hate guitar now.
I would love to learn to play guitar.
I remember I took piano lessons, and I was a little more patience for piano lessons, because we also, and then in addition to those, they sent me to some lady's house.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, in the neighborhood, and and the best I could do was, "Ode to Joy is taken from a symphony by Beethoven." But I just...
I used to have a Casio keyboard, and I used to sit in my driveway, and the Casio keyboard, it has the autoplay, you can play, and one of them was...
We have one. Jerry has one for when she needs to sound out for chorus and choir.
Well, I used to sit in my driveway in Farmington, in my house in the summer, and I can remember...
What's Farmington?
Farmington, the neighborhood over Bluegrass.
Okay.
Bluegrass area.
All right.
But I used to sit in my driveway and listen to the Casio keyboard, and it would play Ode to Joy, and it would go dun dun dun, and then I would stop and I would find but I learned how to play numerous songs by doing that, and by just listening to them and sounding them out. I learned how to play The Entertainer by doing that.
Oh, really? Scott Joplin.
But I took When I first started Pillissippi State years ago, 1999, 98, 99, I took one of my electives was a piano class. My advisor screwed up and put me in, instead of just like a basic piano class, put me in a first year music major piano class. So it was me and three like super great, amazing piano player guys and the instructor. And my third day of class, I was like, I don't know how to read music. And you were supposed to be able to know how to read music to even get into this class.
Yeah.
So
Jerry was a music major, and there were certain classes that you had to, in effect, test into or audition into.
Well, I got put in that class, and it was bad. No. I went and bought like a $200 keyboard and everything, and then I quit. I dropped the class.
But you like the Ode to Joy, though?
I love it.
Because I'm a little, I don't know if I'm mad or not, at my favorite station that I listen to online, WETA, classical WETA, rise above it all, because they have the classical countdown every Thanksgiving.
Right.
And they play like their top 500 classical songs, or some ridiculous number, and it culminates like on Thanksgiving night. And Ode to Joy usually wins. Usually it's the number, that's the number one. The Beethoven's Ninth Symphony is often the number one in the classical countdown.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
it's that good. It's amazing.
I'm more of a Chopin Tchaikovsky kind of girl.
Well, they're in there too.
Yeah, but
so you can
that's
vote
number
for these.
one?
Well, it had last year. It was. I'm almost positive. And this year they've announced, hey, we're doing something different. And they start and they start playing Ode to Joy, and then they do the record scratch. We're taking Beethoven out of the classical countdown this year.
Oh, cool! Because maybe they're sick of Beethoven winning every time.
Well, the reason actually is for 9 weeks they are going so deep into Beethoven.
Oh, that makes sense.
So, but they do one symphony per week, and they play it multiple times. I don't think anybody heard that. It's just some construction out in the distance. But we're up to like week. What is this? I think we're up to week 7.
Ooh.
I think this is the end of week 7. So we're doing the 7th symphony all this week, and then 8th, and so 9th. We're getting there. We're almost at the end. And 9th symphony will be like around Beethoven's birthday. So we'll hear it plenty of times. But they've taken old Beethoven out of the classical countdown this year. And I mean,
yeah.
I guess I'll vote for the 1812 Overture.
I do love that. I am more of a sucker for some cello or some jazz than I am classical music. I don't really know why.
Oh. Well, I mean, my dad, here's something that I do have in common with my dad.
I guess you could consider, like, the cello concertos that I like classical, but...
I mean, I'll keep talking about the things that, my dad loved this, politics, and I hate politics. My dad did love classical music, and I resisted it for a long time. I didn't dig it, but then when Jerry started singing with the Choral Society and the Knoxville Symphony and the Knoxville Opera and all the things, it unlocked this thing in me where I'm like, I actually love it.
Well, it kind of goes back to a couple episodes ago talking about, you go into the dog show or you go into the dance show and it kind of opens up a whole new world to you.
Yeah.
And I think that, people who are like, I don't like musicals. Well, maybe you just haven't really, like, your brain goes, oh, West Side Story, when there are a musical that may tap into your musical taste and your musical likes. And
I mean, there's plenty of bad ones. I mean, not all operas are gonna hit your fancy, but some of them are slogs, and you're like, oh well.
I like the operas that I have gone to. I love.
Would you like to go to more?
I would love to.
Okay, because I'm on the board.
I would.
Marble City Opera now. I forgot to tell you.
Brandon Gibson.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know why, but they asked me.
Well, that's nice.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can't listen to it like when they play opera on like NPR, WOT. I can't listen to it.
You know
on the
why?
radio.
Because it's a visual medium.
I can't.
I figured that out too. My dad used to listen to opera, and I'm like, it's too much. But when you're watching it, it's engrossing. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's completely, it's day and night
What was
difference.
the one that you and I went to that was like 100 years long?
Aida?
Ooh,
That's the grandest of all the operas.
Like a 3,000 act opera. And I made it through the whole thing.
And Jerry was in that one, so that was a special thing.
It was kind of beautiful. It was beautifully staged.
It's a lot of operas are very controversial because, they're written in the 1800s. And for Italian people to get up there and sing. So if they want to tell a story of a war between Egypt and Ethiopia, they would have all the Italian people come in, and they would have to say, using makeup, God bless you, they have to say using makeup, these are the Ethiopians and these are the Egyptians.
Yeah.
And now
You can't do that.
it's not popular.
No.
It's very controversial. And the same thing with any of the other ones that are set in Asia, because these Italian dudes would write these amazing stories about, the far off, they would imagine what life was like in China, and they would write, Turandot or Turandot, depending on what you want to call it.
Well, you just mentioned Egyptians, which make me think of something I wanted to talk about with you, but it also made me think of bones. And bonezones.com, don't forget the S.
Yes, in fact, they have a special Krisha and Frank offer if you want to get some Bone Zones
Look at
merchandise.
how cute this is.
We've got the tumblers here that Susan has sent us, but they do have a tote bag on there with a picture of Dr. Bass. It's different than the one I gave you. I gave you like a one-off tote bag, but you can buy tote bags and things that are autographed by Dr. Bass. If you just want a picture, you want to get an autographed picture of Dr. Bass, have him make it out to you and give it, or make it out to somebody in your family
it's
who has a
Christmas
love.
shopping time.
So you'll get free shipping, but you got to mention the Krisha and Frank show when you go to bonezones.com.
Don't forget the S.
And you can find all sorts of stuff. The challenge coins are pretty cool. The hats are very nice. But the main thing, and the thing that most people get if you really are into the forensic anthropology, would be the books.
The books.
The autographed books. And like Identity Crisis is the one that I couldn't remember the name of the other day. The Leoma Patterson case. That's a mini book, a short story.
That's so cool.
Because what happened was they had written the original version of the Leoma Patterson case in the book Beyond the Body Farm. But then so much more happened. That case has got so much more detail that it deserved more than just a chapter in a bigger book. So it has its own mini book. So whatever one you're looking for, whether you want to read about the fictionalized versions of life here in East Tennessee, which are so well written.
They really are, and especially when you're from here, knowing how beautifully described where we live is.
Yeah, when Dr. Brockton is driving over the bridge from the body farm back to the main campus, I mean, it's exactly like that. It's just that kind of little detail.
And underneath the stadium, my dad used to drive us underneath the stadium.
Oh, where the bones used to be?
Yeah.
They moved them.
They did.
Yeah, it's a strong hall. But anyway, they used to keep the bones in the on the old Neyland Stadium. So you can learn all this stuff when you interact with Dr. Bill Bass, the great forensic anthropologist. Bonezones.com.
Don't forget the S.
So I'll tell you briefly, we were talking about opera a second ago, and on Marble City Opera, they contacted me and said, would you like to be on the board? And I'm like, well, okay. And, but when you're on a board like that, you're expected to...
You gotta show up and stuff.
Buy tickets, and...
Do you hear my belly?
I can. I hope no one else can.
Wow.
I have food over there. You're allowed to eat.
No, it's fine.
All right.
We're good. That was awesome.
I'm going to cook you brunch. So you're expected to support the organization financially, which is something that when I was president of a different board, I couldn't get any of my members to do. Like, you people are supposed to...
I've encountered some board members in the past who yes.
It's part of the commitment, but I agreed to it while I still had a job. So then I wrote back to them and said, I don't have a job anymore. Do you still want me on the board? They're like, yeah.
Dang it.
So I told Jerry, I said, I just spent whatever, $300 on season tickets. She's like, okay, it's okay.
That's fine. But that's a good thing.
So we went to see Winterreise.
Winterreise.
Which I didn't know how to pronounce. Okay. But my Amazon Echo, I asked for my calendar. I said, Alexa, tell me my schedule. And it says, at 7:30, you have Schubert's Winterreise.
Winterreise.
So it's like winter ice. That's the hawk.
Oh,
it's like winter. Cool. I know. I know,
nicer.
Hawk. So Winterreise, and it was a one-person show. It was very scaled down for COVID reasons. They had a video backdrop of ice and snow, and he's trekking through the frozen ice, the Winterreise, and he's complaining about his girlfriend or whatever. And so there's Brandon Kofer playing the piano. Blaine Ziegenfuss is the tenor, and that's really the whole show.
That's a cool name.
So I'm there, and Jerry and I go. We bought the in-person tickets, and it's like 2 chairs and then 10 feet and 2 chairs.
That's what we're doing at Sweet Benny Adams.
Okay, so it's spread out, way spread out. And Catherine Frady, who is the executive director, says to me, "Yeah, I'm glad you found it. The parking was a little tricky, so we were thinking about making a video explaining
how to get here.
But it just didn't work out. It was much harder than we thought, making a video. If only we knew somebody who was good at making videos.
So she was selling that to you,
talking into the camera. And I said, well, you know the trick.
I'll be darned.
I will tell you the secret. If you had asked me,
I would have done it.
I am a sucker. And Jerry starts writing the word sucker over on my forehead. She's yep, it's got suck, and she's literally tracing SUCKER on my forehead and laughing at me, telling Catherine Frady, yeah, he can't say no.
No.
Why do you think he's on your board?
He can't say no.
He couldn't say no.
We're $300 for it because he can't say no. But no,
we'll go see. There's a couple more shows, so I'm assuming that I can get 5 more tickets or whatever if you want to go see.
I do love I love Marble City Opera. I think it is such an asset, and I'm not saying that just because you're on the board. I would have said that regardless. It's such an asset that we have that in
yeah, they are the kind of the yin. Is it the yin and the yangs? I'm trying to think of the zen and the zen or whatever it is. Where if Knoxville Opera does the grand operas, does Aida and big timey. Staged 100 people in the cast operas. Then Marble City is the flip side of it, where they are commissioning new works. In fact, that's the February show. I'd have to look up the title of it off the top of my head. But they're debuting yet another brand new work in February.
And I think like that to me makes opera so much more accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's called
because sometimes Knoxville Opera it's very intimidating.
Oh, well, opera, yeah, there's a bit of a learning curve in opera. You have to, maybe read the story ahead of time or watch the video that the sucker board member is going to make. So, explaining. Let's see, this one with the cards, whatever it is.
It was down there. Scroll down again.
That's another.
Scroll.
These are ones they did in the past.
Oh, poop.
I've got to get to the season. So there's a new opera coming up in February, and I can't remember the name of it, but I also know that in June, they're going to do one that I've actually seen Knoxville Opera do. So first of all, February is Royal Flush.
Ooh.
And it's a world premiere that they commissioned, like they did
beautiful.
with Shadow Light with Brandon Gibson as
yeah.
Buford Delaney. I went to see that, and they do a lot of that. Well, anyway, Royal Flush is this season's premiere, but then they're doing Tosca. And you might enjoy Tosca.
I know I would enjoy Tosca.
Because they're gonna, and so we'll go to that together. When Jerry will all go. You can bring a date if you can find one.
I don't need a date.
All right, well then you just come.
Do you know who's good company? Me.
Yeah.
Do you know how much cheaper it is to exist? Anyway, really quickly, did you see that archaeologists opened a new sarcophagus
in Egypt?
They lifted the lid. Yeah.
No, I did not. What
Don't you think it's a bad year to do that?
Because all those movies that
if the curse of some mummy were gonna be real.
Yes,
now is the time.
All those Brendan Fraser,
yeah,
Brendan Fraser movies.
Yeah,
they started with
Brendan Fraser. He's a weirdo.
So the coffin opened.
Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities announced its country's largest discovery of 2020: a treasure trove of 59 spectacularly well-preserved wooden coffins that had been buried more than 2,600 years ago.
They couldn't have waited. They couldn't.
No.
They could have held this until next year.
The coffins were found stacked on top of each other.
Okay.
Earlier this month, researchers lifted the lid of one coffin to reveal a perfectly preserved mummy wrapped in burial linens that still bear vividly painted hieroglyphic inscriptions. Let's just not. Because if at any point in the history of the world that something were actually going to happen, this would be the year.
What would we do if we ever do open our Brook and Murphy comedy funeral home?
Comedy funeral home.
That's what's been suggested in the comments on YouTube. Is that we have stand-up shows and funerals at the Brook and Murphy comedy funeral home. If someone says to us, "I would like you to mummify my dead relative, not just embalm. I want them mummified and done up in the style of ancient Egypt."
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
There's no law against it? No...
I don't know. I mean... You're asking me as if I know. I'm just simply answering your question. Would I have a moral issue with it? No.
You'd be okay with it?
Yeah. The only thing you get to keep is your soul. The rest of it, it just goes away.
Because I guess... I've heard about people who have weird funerals nowadays.
I want to have a pie fight at my funeral. Like, should
You know
I...
where they could have that?
Where?
The Brook and Murphy Comedy Funeral Home.
Like, should I croak over before you? Just know...
Unlikely.
It could not... I mean, odds are...
Not impossible.
Right.
But unlikely.
But I have rules for people in my life. Notebooks. I have thousands, I would say hundreds of notebooks. Please just get rid of them. Don't read them. Just don't.
Okay.
Because then you'll know how crazy I am. Because I write every day, and sometimes it's fantastic, and sometimes it's terrible.
But you have no intention of sharing that with the world, ever.
Maybe, but
you want to be in control of it.
I do.
As opposed to...
And so, should I croak over as a person in my life?
You want me to bury them with you?
Just burn them. Just get rid of them. Don't read them. Please don't let my children read them. Please don't let my children read them. Please don't read them.
All right. Well, as if that's the deal,
that is my wish.
You know, because like I say, the old was it on Friends or one of those shows where you always had to have a buddy who would eliminate your stash from your parents. So whatever it is you had, whether it be drugs or porn or something that you shouldn't have, you always have to have a...
I don't care about all of those things.
You have to have a buddy. It's a buddy system.
Yeah.
Where you have to go to their house and destroy...
Just get rid of my notebooks, and they're everywhere.
So am I being entrusted with that?
There's a lot of people entrusted with it. I make it widely known that if you're important in my life, you have to know to get rid of my notebooks. 2.
So am I going to be elbowing other people out of the way to get to the notebooks?
Maybe.
All right.
2. Please cremate me, and please go out into a field, have a party, and have a pie fight.
With your ashes?
No.
That's disgusting.
No. I mean, my mom's ashes live, like, above the washing machine in my house because we don't know what to do with them.
Well, you put them in a columbarium.
No.
You bury them.
No.
Okay. You put them in an urn? What are they in? What are they in? Just the plastic
box that they come in?
The plastic box with the bag from...
I've never opened them.
Well, inside if it's in the
It's
gray...
in a cardboard box. There's a box in a box.
Well, usually there's a plastic gray
that's what it is.
Box, and then inside the plastic gray box will be a plastic bag that is sealed, and it'll have the metal tag that they put on the body before the cremation.
Oh, I've never... Oh, that made my tummy hurt.
No, that's for proof. That's proof that it's the right person.
I've never even opened... I don't even know if I have the right person.
No, you have the right person.
I don't know.
Does it say her name on the outside of the box?
I don't know.
Which crematory did it?
Actually, it was actually funeral home.
Well, if they used the crematory that I know,
sure
I guarantee you that everything is fine.
It's fine.
You want to go to the crematory?
I've been.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's because it's fascinating to me. I don't want to be cremated. I want to be exhumed multiple times.
Like some Dateline episode.
Oh, like Big Bopper, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, hello, baby.
I want to be exhumed multiple times.
Well, until they prove who did it.
Oh, well, I think we'll know.
All right, let's wrap.
We gotta go. Please follow us on all the socials. Please subscribe to our YouTube. Everything is Krisha and Frank. Happy Friday. Well, I'll see you Sunday.
At the Taco Festival.
Maybe.
Yeah. I have to build our website. I bought it so we can make more money. I want you to know that's why I spent it.
No, it's fine.
All right, good.
I ain't mad about it.
Oh, all right. All right, that's also Krisha and Frank.
When have I ever gotten mad at any of your ridiculous Come on, baby, let's get away.
Get your guitar out.
We'll save our troubles for another day. Come go with me, we got it made. Let me take you on an escapade. Let's go, escapade. We'll have a good time.
I should not dance. I'll sit here quietly.
Leave your worries behind.
I look bad doing it.
Let's get away. That's some Janet Jackson.
Okay. Do you want to sing us out through the subscribe button? Because I'll put the subscribe button somewhere, and you may as well just play us out as we thank you for another week of shows. This is, by the way... oh, no, I was going to wish you a happy 50. It's only 45.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We won't won't make a lot of money, but it'd mean a lot to us. You can find us on the internet, everything is there. We haven't really gotten rid of all the stuff we should have. Maybe if you do the right search, you could find something cool. Or maybe not, most definitely not. Please don't do any searches, it's fine. Have a good weekend.